Hey Scrapper Names fans, welcome back to another video. Today I have this 12x12 mixed media layout with lots of different experimental techniques for me on this one. Now if you saw my video before this, which was my art journal page, some of the print that was originally on the art journal page actually came from this layout creation. So what I'm doing here is I wanted to use my Gelli Plate and have a bit of a play around to create some different things. So obviously some different background for this layout. I wasn't sure what I was going to do exactly. I just knew I was in the mood to have a bit of a play. So I've added, I think it's like a hot pink Kaiser Craft. I'm using Kaiser Craft acrylic paints and a blue and just mixing it around with my brayer. I think, and I'm still getting used to it, I think I do over brayer my paint a little bit. So I think the trick with it is not to push down too hard on the brayer on the Gelli Plate, just lightly sort of brush it along, push it along the Gelli Plate so that there's a bit of a smooth layout of the paint, if that makes sense. Very technical arty terms there. Anyway, so I then cleaned off my brayer on the A4 paper I'm going to use, and then I decided I wanted to try and see if I could do some stenciling. Now I've seen this technique done, and I've seen it done even more. I've got a page I'm following on Instagram. I seem to not get it quite right. This time wasn't too bad. As you can see, I just grabbed a piece of vellum. I don't have any deli paper, which a lot of people use to do some Gelli Plate printing, so I wanted to see how vellum would work, and it didn't go too bad. As you can see here, I've tried it with laying the vellum over the stencil, and meh, didn't work. Did work kind of in a roundabout way, and now I'm just trying this. And this worked better. So I've laid a piece of cardstock over the top of the vellum, which was sitting on top of the print of the stencil and the Gelli Plate, if that makes sense, and just pushed it all down. Now that has come out much better. And I just, as I said, I was just playing to see what it would look like. From what I can gather, deli paper is like a really thin paper, like baking paper almost, but really thin. So I thought, well, I don't have any, so yeah, I'll give vellum a go. It's a real thin, easy paper, so yeah. Now I'm going to go back in on my Gelli Plate with a couple of different, I think I've got the same pink and blue maybe, and I've added a touch of gold paint to it just to give it a bit of shine. Now that's what I've done there, and I've just, so obviously you can see my Gelli Plate's not a 12x12 Gelli Plate, so I've just used it twice, two lots of prints, like pulled the paper up, laid it back down over where it would go. Until I get myself a bigger Gelli Plate and I'm comfortable with it, I'm cool with this for now. I can embellish the page. I've done layouts where I've cut it down around the edges and stuck it to a pattern piece of paper just to cut off that excess white as well. So now I'm just adding some gold splatters just to really highlight the gold that was in the Gelli Plate print as well. I already had the photo picked out of what I wanted to do, but that was about the extent of my plan. It's a picture of my mum and my niece at a family dinner we had late last year. So I kind of went with the pretty girly kind of colours-ish, as I said, and that was about it. Oh, and I think I had a cut file. There is a cut file on this one. Here it is. It's a Kitaholic Kit cut file, exclusive cut file. To get it, you have to be part of the Kit Club. So this is where I pull in my vellum piece. Now, I thought about making a bit of a shaker pocket with it, but I changed my mind. I'm not... Too many techniques all in one layout would just be too difficult. So what I've done is, as you can see, I did trace the outline of the cut file and now onto the vellum, and now I'm just giving it a bit of a cutout. On a side note, if you can hear children yelling, they are actually playing. Homeschool for term 2 began here in the ACT today, and it's going really well. They're having their playtime at the minute, but they're noisy, and that's okay. They need to let off steam as they get used to a new way of doing things, I guess. Anyone else at home, doing a mix of homeschooling and parenting and anything else in between, make sure you look after yourselves as well. One thing I have learnt over the last week or so is that you need to take time out for yourself. So make sure you do, whether that's outside for a walk, outside for 10 minutes with a cup of coffee and just hiding away. Yes, some things us parents forget to do, I think, is worry about ourselves. All right, so I've done the cut file. I've backed these clouds, and I'm coming in with my Posca paint pen in the blue. I just felt it wasn't popping enough, and so I'm literally going through and colouring the cardstock. Now, you have to be really careful because it does. Is it called pilling? So the paper starts to come up a little bit if you push too hard on the paint pen onto the cardstock and like rub it like you would if you were colouring something in. So you sort of have to dob it along and just guide the paint along, and then it works out much better. So I really like how that looks. See how it changes that it really makes that pink vellum pop, as well as the outline of the cut file, which I was really happy with. And then what I'm going to do here is I haven't changed my backing paper, which when I edited this video yesterday, I was like, did I change this? As you can see, I'm essentially backing the cut file again using this, I think it's from Dear Lizzie, She's Magic paper. I really love that collection, actually. So this is from... Some of these papers and things are from March's kit, so they are a bit older. I don't know if you can get them in the Kitaholic shop. You'd have to check that out. But, yeah. So I just thought instead of just backing that straight onto the cardstock, that giving the cut file an actual cutout just gives it that little bit of pop as well, a little bit of interest, especially if I laid, I think, the plain white onto, even though it's got the purpley pink background paper of the Gelli Plate print. I'm tongue-tied. I just didn't think it would, really stand out. And when I do cut files, I really like them to pop out a little bit. I think that they're kind of like a large embellishment, really. So there. All right, so that is all happening. Nope, here come the children, sorry. All right, just playing around with where I'm going to put this photo. I had a rough idea that I would put it in this centerpiece. I did contemplate down on the corner on an angle, but I liked it sitting in the middle of the rainbow. I thought it just looked a bit sweet. All right, so rummaging around in I think this container here is the exclusive printables for the month. As I said, it was last month's kit, March's kit, so... Oh, these may not... Hang on, let me think. Actually, no, I think these are die cuts from Pink Fresh Studio, I think, from memory, if it serves me correctly, which may not. I'm just working on some clusters around that cut file. As I said, I was going with a real, like a really soft... girly kind of layout to the page, just because obviously, as I said, it's a really sweet photo of my mum and my niece, so I wanted that really sweet tone to the page. Now, one thing with the printables is lots of fussy cutting. Now, I don't generally like fussy cutting. I hate cutting. I can never cut in a straight line. But I think I'm actually getting better at it. And I actually have proper little fussy cutter scissors, and I kind of hate them. I've tried sharpening them, and I might need to sharpen them a little bit more, but I find my bigger scissors cut way better than the actual little scissors. So as you can see here, I'm using my good ones. These are a Fiskars scissor that I think I brought from Spotlight when they're expensive, so they were on sale when I got them, or I used a coupon to get them. But they're really good, and they don't have anything stick to them. So like if you cut into tape or whatever, it doesn't stick, which I love, because my other pair of scissors, which is just your normal stock standard scissors, are all sticky and tacky and annoying. Fussy cutting is not something I used to generally enjoy. Now I'm getting better at it. I literally just spent about 3 days doing a cut file. If you've looked at my Insta stories, you would have seen it. It was a big butterfly one, and it's got multiple butterflies, and I just went around and I backed them individually and was fussy cutting. It took me 3 days because I just did it over night time when I was watching TV. But it looks really good. But yeah, I'm honing in my skills, and the printables each month are helping that. All right, so now as I said, I'm just going to make some clusters. I'm using some wet glue because of the mixed media background. It's a bit rough, and adhesive tape won't stick down, I don't think. So as you can see, blues, pinks, those sorts of colours, those softer tones are what I'm sort of aiming for on this layout. And then I've used some thickers to make my title. What else am I adding? So I think you would have just heard my phone just decided to ring. I thought I had it on silent. Sorry about that. Never ends. So these are the printables. You can see me flicking through them here. And as I said, there's a mix of those little embellishments. There's Project Life cards, those sorts of things. So it's quite a good bunch. I haven't yet killed it. I still have March's stuff left over, some of it anyway. And I'm getting through April's as we are nearly finishing off April. Ooh, sprinkly bits. I've been coming into loving these little sprinkly bits. So these are some sequins that were in the kit, as well as I think some wood veneer and enamel dots. And I think the sequins are in fact from Paige Evans, but an older collection, I think, from memory. All right, just adding a little bit. I wanted to add those strips there, and I was balancing them out with some, words and the washi strip type pieces of cardstock on either side of the photo, just giving it a bit of balance. It was just another little piece of interest as well. With as I've said numerously at the moment, is I'm really liking little phrase stickers just to add some sentiments to the page. When looking back and remembering and those sorts of things. And just I guess hiding some of the spots where maybe the Gelli Plate didn't print quite well, sort of sneaking those in just to hide those little patches a bit as well. So I really had fun playing with a few different techniques here. As I said, on the vellum, the stenciling, the Gelli Plate itself. I'm still getting used to how to use a Gelli Plate, and different techniques and things you can use with it, because I'm sure that, the world is your oyster when you're playing with a Gelli Plate. But I love how these turned out. I love the colours on it. It is a busy layout, but I'm really happy with that. And I do like how the vellum turned out. Originally I was like, I'm not sure, but I do actually really like how it turned out. But yeah, so this is the finished product. Some up close photos for you. I hope you've enjoyed this layout. I hope you've got some ideas for them for your next one, and if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later. Bye.
Artlist.io.